welcome to this bookshelf. I'm Ariel Rocher. And today I'm going to be doing Diary of a Pug, Pug Blasts Off. And the basic summary of this book is when Baron Von Bubbles, his nickname is Bub, his owner, Bella, decides to enter into the Inventors Challenge, and she decides to create a rocket. But then Bob ruins Bella's project by a huge mistake, and he's trying to fix it before the Inventors Challenge, but he ends up giving her an idea for an even better invention. Read it to find out. The exciting thing in this book is when Bob, decides to make a tunnel out of a bunch of junk in the courtyard, and he almost crosses it, but then it breaks. So I would say that the basic lesson is that if you don't give up, you can create anything, and sometimes you have to do a lot of research before it. Diary of a Pug, Pug Snow Day. The basic summary of this book is when there are a bunch of snow days because it's snowing like crazy. Bella and Bob, they decide to play outside. But then they hear some strange noises and smoke coming from next door, and some new neighbors are coming in. Bob decides to investigate, and when he goes and investigates, he sees an old rickety house. He doesn't know what it is, but he sure is creeped out. He promises to never go and investigate there again. When Nutters goes and takes Bub's bear and tosses it to the other side of the neighbor's fence, Bub has no choice. So will he make it out of there alive, or will he not? That's for you to read and for you to find out. The funny thing in this book is when Bub, he was sniffing the ground. It was his first snow day, so he was sniffing the ground, and then he went to this mini ice pool or something. It was like he was sniffing, and there was a pond, like a puddle of melted snow, and then his nose got stuck. And I would say that the basic lesson of this book is that if you try something new, you might even like it. And you should always try something new, and there's always enough space to learn something new in life. Also, another lesson that I learned is that you can solve a problem if you take time to figure out the solution. Diary of a Pug, Pause for a Cause. So the basic summary of this book is when Bub and Bella, they both find this little kitten in the field. So then they decide to bring it to the cat shelter. But then when they go there, they find out that the cats don't have enough water, food, and it takes a long time for them to find shelter and homes. Plus, they don't have any toys, so they don't have any entertainment. They just basically sleep all day and just get bored when they wake up. So they decided to start a pet wash to raise money to buy toys for the kittens. So what they did was that in the beginning, when they filled up the kiddie pool and gave them a bath, it did not work out. So then what happened was that Bella decided to try this new way where they designed the pet wash just like a car wash. So then, but it was a pet, pretend the pet is a car, and it goes through this mini car wash. So it's kind of like that. So then, well, will the idea work or will it not? That's for you to read and you to find out. So the funny thing in this book is when the kitten licked Bub's nose, and then it was like, the basic lesson of this book is that it's better to be late than never doing it. And the reason I'm saying this is because Bob and Bella and Jack and Luna, the best friends, their deadline to bring the toys to the pet shelter was on Wednesday, but instead they came on Friday because they didn't have enough time. So, but at least they came. If they just gave up because they were late, they could have never came and the kittens couldn't have any toys. Diary of a Pug, Scaredy Pug. So this book is about when Pug and Bella and Duchess, they all visit Bella's Nana's house. So there, when they go up to the attic where Bella wants to play, they hear a ghost and they see a ghost. So they're trying to figure out the answer to this blood-stopping mystery. Well, it's more of a blood-chilling, but it can literally stop people. Well, will they ever get out of that attic alive? Will they not? It's for you to read, you to find out. So, the funny thing in this book is when they did a practice run for their plan to catch the ghost, Duchess got all wrapped up in yarn. She was trying to throw the yarn at the ghost to make it trip. So then, the basic lesson I learned from this book is that you should always face your fears, because if you face them, then you might get over it, and if you don't, then you're just going to be scared for the rest of your life. Diary of a Pug Sleepover. The basic summary of this book is when Bella has a sleepover with Jack and Luna. Well, Bella and Bub has a sleepover with Jack and Luna. And Bella has 1,000 ideas for themes, and she decides on a pirate theme. But then, when Bub goes on a chase, he accidentally ruins her decorations. So, how will he make up to her? Well, Bub finds the answer soon enough. But then, the last disaster comes. In the sleepover, since they're doing it at Jack's house, Jack decided to give them a surprise and say that they're doing it outside in a tent. But Bella packed so much things at the tent, it's overstuffed. Read the book to find out what happens next. Well, the exciting thing is this book is when Bella took cardboard and made a humongous flag, a pirate flag, but instead of a skull head, she put a dog's head in white paint. So the basic lesson of this book is that, well, even if you don't sleep at sleepovers, you can have a lot of fun in them. And that's the most important thing there. Diary of Pug, Pug's road trip. The basic summary of this book is when Pug goes on a road trip, but Nuts promises Bub that he'll meet some of his cousins along the way. So Bub is worried. Will they steal his snacks? Well, he doesn't have time to think about that because they're hitting the road and they have lots of stops. But the funny thing is, in every single stop, Bub meets one of Nuts' cousins. So they have been giving him small souvenirs, and Bella has been collecting souvenirs too. But in the biggest canyon in the whole country, her souvenirs all break. So she doesn't know what to do. Can Pug save the day? Or will the souvenir surprise be ruined? That's for you to read and you to find out. The basic lesson of this book is that, well, you should travel everywhere and get an experience of everything. So that way people can ask you for experiences and you can have an experience. And also, I highly recommend you to take a road trip. It's very fun. I've never been on one, but I hope to do one across the world. Pug's Got Talent. Basic summary of this book is when Bella is putting on a pet talent show. And Bub cannot wait to wow the audience with a skateboarding stunts snazzy costume. He's crazy about fashion. But another performer, Duchess, has impressive skills too. Is there room for 2 stars in one show? Well, that's for you to read and you to find out. The really, really cool part of this book is in chapter 6. It's when Duchess does these really, really cool moves. And lesson that I learned in this book is that if you have stage fright or something, you should imagine you're there. Like in Magic Treehouse, where they were in Shakespeare's theater, Jack was scared and he had stage fright. But then he imagined he was actually where the play was taking place, like in the forest, and he did amazing. So don't think about being on stage. Just think about having fun. That's the number one thing. With that, I'll say goodbye and see you later.